Hello and welcome back to my channel. Subscribe and like the video. Two things that I can guarantee you in this video is that I'll respond to your comment. If you're a Dimash fan, there is a high probability if you watch this video till the end, you'll dislike it. Before I start talking about Frenemies, to all the Dimash stans that commented under my previous video, I'll address your comments at the end of this one. But you're not getting a timestamp, find it yourself. So let's talk about Frenemies. Trisha Paytas and Ethan Klein, the duo nobody knew we needed. It all started on this beautiful day when Ethan decided to talk about Trisha on his podcast. Later she and Hila's brother Moses ruined their Bachelorette series they planned on doing with Trisha, and the rest is history, I guess. What's interesting to me is that before Frenemies, I neither watched Trisha nor H3H3. I knew more of Trisha because I'm practically addicted to YouTube for past 3 years. It's kinda impossible to not know about Trisha if you spend any time on the platform. She's the original uncancelable troll, but that might be changing. Part of her success in trolling and staying relevant is that she has a lot of struggles in her life, I think. And one more important thing, whenever she does something, whenever she hurts any kind of a minority group online, she does it by appropriating. It's never direct. Do you know what I mean? When she thought she was a man, she didn't directly hurt the trans community. She decided to perform it on herself even though she's not trans. The same thing she did with DID. Many trolls have made that mistake in the past. Directly attacking any community or anyone is a big no-no. The way Trisha did it in the past is the way to go if you want to be a successful troll. It's just not nice to be a shitty human. And that is never a good plan if you want to have successful and lengthy career on YouTube. When you realize the ideas behind what she did in those situations start from something real, some responsibility is taken off of her. We always knew that Trisha had some identity problems, and Frenemies' podcast just deepened the subject. Her mental health was never a secret. Her thinking that she has DID is not such a reach when you consider that there is a high probability that she has BPD. I relate to her a lot at times. I don't have serious mental challenges, but sometimes I look at myself, let's say 6 months ago, and I quite literally don't recognize the person. I don't know if that's a part of growing up and mental development, but it does feel like that sometimes. Don't get me wrong, I have this moral compass for behaving in general, but I'm always open to changing my opinions if I wasn't informed on a potential issue, and I just can't stick with things. My interests and hobbies are very interchangeable and exchangeable, so when I see Trisha searching for herself, it's relatable in a sense. One of the things that I treasure the most is honesty, and that's Trisha's middle name. I would much rather be friends with somebody that is completely honest than somebody trying their best not to offend anybody for the sake of public picture. Frenemies brought this new human side of Trisha. I was never in a complete grasp of how things work with Trisha. It always felt like something was missing before this. So seeing the unedited and slightly directed podcast explains a lot. I know that she doesn't edit videos on her channel, but it's different when she has Ethan to steer her in a certain direction. I don't even see Frenemies as a podcast. It's more of a reality show than a podcast. If you're a person that watches a lot of reality TV, I would definitely recommend Frenemies. And reality TV needs to take notes. They have nothing on them. Ethan is the one that takes care of titling for the podcast. And since his style of YouTube is talking about other people, every single Frenemies podcast has some shocking title without necessarily needing it. So often you will find that Jeffree Star, James Charles, David Dobrik are in the titles of the podcasts, while the video is 40 to 50% of Trisha and Ethan talking about their lives. It's not clickbait in a traditional sense, since most of the audience is not there for James, Jeffrey, David. Most of the audience is there for Ethan and Trisha interacting. They are successful for the honesty and being real. This is at the moment, at least from what I am watching on YouTube, the realest thing you can watch. People talked about Shane Dawson as the one to repair your reputation before his own cancelling, but Frenemies has revived Trisha's reputation. I think that her public picture hasn't been better since she started her YouTube career, but don't get me wrong. My opinion is that even though Trisha is moving in the right direction, For the first time in her career, probably. She still needs to proactively apologize for the things she has done in the past few years. And if she keeps the positive energy around, I see her doing that in the future without necessarily being pressured by the fans. Trisha's ability to know so much trivia and somehow not know that Egypt is a real country. Being confused where Atlantis is, or does it even exist, that alone gives you the insight in Trisha's world. She knows some specific stuff to the smallest detail, while barely knowing anything in certain areas. When people say they live in their own world, I now imagine Trisha. Moving to H3H3, I don't actually have much to say about Ethan. I never had much interest in H3H3. Ethan's humor isn't the type of humor I like, so he kinda used to annoy me. But with Frenemies I discovered that he is very petty, and I'm living for it. Some of my favorite episodes are the first big fight, but paired with the next episode since I don't like drama for the sake of drama. When there is drama, I also like to see the resolution. They were not friends at this stage. We got one more huge fight in episode 13, and again a resolution in the next episode, but with some questionable outside perspective. My absolute favorite is the 17th episode. This is probably the only video you can find on YouTube where somebody big is defending Trisha. She is that one friend that will ride or die for you, while they don't need even crumbs in return. It's sad to see that being the outcome is what she expects. I'm not going to explain what happened. If you're watching this video, I'm just going to assume that you already know what I'm talking about. The people that attacked Trisha are not even important in this situation. The important thing is Trisha describing how it all felt, and both Ethan and Hila standing up for her. And I think most of the fans expect fights between Trisha and Ethan in the future, maybe even near future. But it also feels like they are friends/family, and any future fights will be resolved without a doubt. So that's it for the Frenemies. If you're a fan, leave in the comments what you like the most about the Frenemies. And now Dimash stands. My last video just brought something out of you, didn't it? And yes, I was right. Dimash has some fans behaving similarly to K-pop stans. That statement was very controversial in the last video, though the fans that commented under my previous video just proved my point. If you're talking about Dimash and you're not talking exclusively in superlatives, they will come for you. And they will come hard. What is interesting is that I lost my job recently, and I have a lot of free time on my hands at the moment. So responding to comments or having full-blown conversations in the comments is not a problem. That is an advantage of small channels on YouTube. There is a huge probability that the creator will see and respond to your comments. I don't know, is it a good idea trying to get myself in trouble with Dimash fans? That is for sure not my intention. I'm just open to conversation, and critical thoughts are not strange to me. But thinking and expressing your thoughts could get you into trouble with these people. Firstly, people had problems with me using Dimash's name in the title of the video. Of course I'm using his name for clicks and views. That is the name of the game. You not realizing that and commenting on this platform just says lots about you. Because I knew before filming that I'm going to use his name in the title of the video, I made sure that he was the most important thing in the video. The original idea for the video has started with Dimash. This trend of people wanting to profit off of his fans is the reason I wanted to make the video. You as a fan not realizing that I'm on his side in this situation is revealing, truly. Now, I'll give you one thing. Using other people's names in your titles and talking about other people in your videos in general is ethically questionable. But if you think that way, reacting to other people's content is even more questionable. And I hope that you're trying to stay linear with the way you judge. I say that because the majority of the people that commented under my previous video was somehow trying to defend vocal coaches from what I was trying to say. I still think that the most of the vocal coach reactions on YouTube are more of a detriment than a positive to Dimash. Not going to argue that once again. I also failed to mention that there is possibilities for vocal coaches to popularize Dimash, and that truly has some potential, but it's still a big net loss for Dimash in my opinion. If you watched and shared his personal videos enough, he would be much more popular than he is now. Let's say 50% of those views that vocal coaches get, suddenly Dimash gets. If you're his fan, don't watch mindless, contentless reactions, vocal coach reactions, whenever that type of video gets recommended to you. And it's very easy to spot. Just go to Dimash's channel and watch his video. One important thing to remember, not all vocal coaches are like that. Not all reactors are like that. But sadly most of them are. I saw a lot of people confusing some things. Vocal coaches or reactors being fans of Dimash, that shouldn't affect the way their content is viewed. If it's bad, it's just simply bad and end of sentence. As you can see, there are some reaction videos on my channel. I wanted my channel to go in that direction. I educated myself on YouTube rules and terms of fair use. And I've already spoken about that in 2 of my previous videos. You have a scope of my opinion and understanding of the rules. How things work or how should things work. Why you might not understand it is maybe because it's normalized to just rip off people's content without even blinking. I love that there was a lot of conversation in the comments, and there truly wasn't much hate. Most of you people stayed respectful, and thank you for that. I'm not going to focus on a few people being hateful. Just realize that all of us are going to have differing opinions and stances. With that being said, it is the end of this video. You will see me in the next one. Bye guys.